From the newest home in Big East basketball, last night it was rocking and rolling through the night for Chicago, and now it goes from concert to hardwood. It's a historic weekend for the DePaul Blue Demons, and they're ready to open it up with a top 15 team coming in. The number 14 ranked Fighting Irish Notre Dame, a long-time rivalry renewed. That's on Saturday. It is opening night in Big East basketball, and we are ready for it, everybody. I am so jacked. John Fanta with you here on Big East Shootaround as we've got 8 games ahead tonight. And we're here at Wintrust Arena, a facility that has been years in the making. They broke ground on this building back in 2015, and now it's time to open up a new era for DePaul basketball, and they think that this can be a massive part of their future. We'll get to all that and more. As you know, it's opening day in college hoops. 8 games on the docket tonight across the Fox family of networks. Let's take a look at what you can watch tonight. It all starts with Seton Hall and Fairleigh Dickinson on FS2. You see all the matchups, though, across your screen, and it'll take you all the way up through the night with Marquette and Creighton capping it off, a couple of 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off times. Let's break down each matchup here, rapid-fire style. Starts with the FS2 doubleheader, folks. 6:30 tip time. Angel Delgado and the Seton Hall Pirates. They are taking on Fairleigh Dickinson. The Knights picked right near the top of the Northeast preseason poll. And for Delgado, he's the NCAA active career leader in rebounds with over 1,050 double-doubles on his career. Can he build on that? We shall see, as the Pirates under Kevin Willard are looking for a third straight NCAA tournament berth, and they will aim for that. A long season ahead for this senior class as they look to climb to major heights. That's 6:30 on FS2. Dave Sims will have the call to tip off the night in Big East basketball. We turn to the main line. We're heading to Philadelphia. It's at 8:30 when Villanova plays host to Columbia. It's the Wildcats who are picked to win the Big East in the preseason coaches poll. They're led by AP preseason All-American Jalen Brunson. The court general has been phenomenal as a junior, and for Jay Wright's team, they need him to continue to be the leader. He will have help, though, folks. Phil Booth is back from injury last year, and Omari Spellman is a dynamic redshirt freshman that you really want to be looking out for as the Wildcats opening up their season. Jay Wright, 2016 national title. He's on our show today. Don't miss it. That's coming up, Villanova at 8:30. There are 4 games across the Fox family of networks starting up at 7 o'clock, and that starts with the Xavier Musketeers playing host as the Musketeers will look to build on their Elite Eight berth from a year ago. It's a Musketeers team with Trayvon Blewett and J.P. McCura. They've got one of the best duos in the country. Now this senior backcourt looking to take it to the next step here, and they've got the freshmen around them to complement them as Xavier is looking to build on what was a great season. Chris Mack, in 8 years at Xavier, has taken the Musketeers to 3 Sweet 16s and an Elite Eight. Musketeers in action at 7 o'clock. As we turn now to Friartown, Ed Cooley's team. The Providence Friars taking on Houston Baptist. The Huskies coming into town. That's at 7 o'clock. And for the Friars, Kyron Cartwright and Rodney Bullock are back. This is a team, folks, that started 1-5 in Big East play a year ago and then made an incredible run to go to the NCAA tournament as the Friars now welcome in a star-studded freshman class. Nate Watson and DeJour Dickens, remember those names, at size and side for Providence as the Friars are in action at 7 o'clock. That one on FSN as well. Meanwhile, in Big East basketball, 2 coaching debuts are this weekend, and one of them will take place tonight. Laval Jordan, a former Butler great as a player, is now back as the head coach of the Dogs. Butler tips it off at 7 o'clock with Kennesaw State as Coach Jordan looks to raise the tempo with his sophomore point guard, Kamar Baldwin. So how will that look? The Dogs under Laval, he brings a lot of pride to this program. While people were concerned about the departure of Chris Holtman to Ohio State, Laval Jordan keeps the Butler way going because he comes as a former player for the program, and he makes his debut tonight. That one on Fox College Sports. You can check your local listings. Go to BigEast.com as well for all the info on the full schedule tonight as we turn from the Dogs to another game starting at 7 o'clock. St. John's, the Red Storm, led by Shamari Pons and Marcus Levet, and now they welcome in New Orleans tonight with 2 transfers making their debuts. Get ready for Marvin Clark and Justin Simon. Simon has been really good in exhibition games for St. John's, a primary ball handler for them, and at 6'5" is quite dynamic. For the Red Storm, they've got all the backcourt pieces you could want. They get in action against New Orleans at 7 o'clock. Don't miss that one on Fox College Sports, as they are a team that just puts together highlight after highlight, folks, and you do not want to miss the Johnnies as they get going here tonight. Chris Mullen's team looking to take the next step, and they have been known as kind of a league dark horse, picked to finish 6th in the coaches' preseason poll. We'll see what the Red Storm can do tonight. We turn now to the 9 o'clock games across the Fox family of networks, as there's 2 of them. Marquette taking on Mount St. Mary's, and Creighton taking on Yale. We'll start with Marquette, and for the Golden Eagles, they have a big storyline in that Marcus Howard is questionable tonight. He had a sprained ankle over the weekend in their exhibition game. It'll be interesting to see what the Golden Eagles will do here if Howard does not play. That means Andrew Rousey will carry the load in the backcourt for Marquette. It'll be intriguing to see what happens there. Marquette in action against Mount St. Mary's, coming off an NCAA tournament berth, their first in the Steve Wojciechowski era. That one tips off at 9 o'clock as the Golden Eagles, they look to build off that big dance berth. The other 9 o'clock game, it's likely the most impactful of the night, folks. Creighton hosting Yale. This is the best opponent in terms of preseason KenPom rating. The Blue Jays welcoming in the Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs returned 3 of their top 4 scorers from a year ago, and Makai Mason, who broke his foot last season, had to end it early, and Mason's back. He led Yale to their first NCAA tournament berth in program history 2 years ago, and now he goes in Omaha tonight. Yale trying to play the upset card, but Creighton, Blue Jays led by Marcus Foster, as well as Kyrie Thomas, one of the country's best wing duos. They look to answer some questions at point guard. Their size has been good. Now, what can the Blue Jays do, though, as they have Justin Patton gone, that NBA first-round pick? They get underway 9 o'clock. Cap your night off with that. They're letting it fly in Omaha. Creighton taking on Yale. That's on Fox Sports Regional Networks as well. Well, as I said, we've got 2 head coaching debuts this weekend, and it starts with Laval Jordan tonight. The Butler head coach and I sat down a couple of weeks ago, and when you talk to Laval, he's got a lot of pride for this program, a great guard as a player for the Bulldogs, and now what will he look to do with this year's team? They've got some additions as well. What do you think the identity of your group is going to be?
Well, I don't know. I think that'll happen over time. I know what we want it to be. And we're practicing every day trying to get there, but we're not there yet. So I think we've got a coachable group. We work really hard, and we'll see, when we start seeing some opponents here early on in the season, how we establish ourselves.
What do you want the identity to be?
Well, it's Butler. We want to be tough defensively. I think if we can be a smart team and take care of the ball on offense, which is a staple, and play a little bit faster up the court, I think we got some guys that can do that and understand the responsibility of when to go and when to slow it down. So, but again, the lights have to come on. We got to get out there and see somebody else and see if we can actually be disciplined enough to execute.
And the nice problem that you have in the backcourt is there's some options there, some versatility. We know what Keelan Martin can do, but what do Paul Jorgensen and Aaron Thompson at?
They had a lot. I think Paul can really shoot the basketball. He worked really hard in his redshirt year, sitting out as a transfer, and his shot is about as accurate as anybody on our team, and we want him to shoot the basketball. But he can also handle it and make some plays too. And then AT, Aaron's defensively, he has a chance to be really special on that end of the court. He's a really bright young man, and he's a natural, on the ball lead guard. And so, taking command and picking everything up, getting everybody in place, he kind of does that naturally, whereas Kamar's learning it. So it's a good mix. I think, with Aaron and Kamar in there defensively, we could be really strong in the backcourt. And obviously Paul and Kamar can shoot it. So you got to guard them both on one end, and if we can defend, is going to be the big question.
Don't miss that matchup, 7 o'clock. Butler and the Kennesaw State Owls under head coach Al Skinner. He won a Big East championship back in 2001 as It's the Owls and the Bulldogs on Fox College Sports at 7. Well, there's another head coach debuting. You might know him. Number 33, Patrick Ewing, back on the hilltop on Sunday at noon. The Georgetown Hoyas start the Ewing era. They'll take on Jacksonville at 1 on the Fox Sports Networks. For you New Yorkers out there, that'll be on Yes Network. And for Coach Ewing, he's looking to get Georgetown back to where they were when he was a player there. And to start this era, he's looking to raise the tempo as well. Here's a conversation I had with him in the preseason. You talked about it when you were introduced and in some interviews over the summer. You said, I'm going to do things my way. What is the Patrick Ewing way?
The way that I've been taught. After spending 14 years in the NBA, various coaching, being prepared, running style and pushing the pace, trapping, that's just my focus for right now.
That lifted tempo, your players told me yesterday that they've been running harder than they ever have before. Your conditioning program's been tough. But how much do you think that style plays to your team's strengths?
Well, I think there's nothing wrong with being in shape. The guys have to be in shape to be successful, and to be able to play the style that I want to play. I want to be up-tempo, like I said. That's the style of play that a lot of kids like to play now. Jesse can run. I have a center in him who can run, even though he's been here 2 years, and a lot of people haven't seen that yet, and he shows me that he can run. And we have wings that can run. We want to accentuate their style, and I do expect them to be attentive. I want them to definitely be a better defensive team than they have been in the past. One of the things that I've learned in all the teams that I've played on since high school, we've always been great defensive team. I definitely want to get back to that staple, a great defensive team, and build everything out from there.
Let's turn to the matchup that all eyes are on here in Chicago this weekend. It is Saturday afternoon when DePaul welcomes in number 14 Notre Dame. The Blue Demons just getting on the court behind me here as they've got practice coming up. This will be the 105th meeting between them all time. It'll be 3 o'clock Central Time, 4 Eastern on FS1 tomorrow. Brian Anderson, Bill Raftery with the call. Let's look at this matchup here as, again, these two teams have gone at it for a long time. It's the second longest series that DePaul has had with any opponent next to the Marquette Golden Eagles. And for the Blue Demons, the keys for them this season, they've got Eli Kane back, replacing what Billy Garrett Jr. did for them. It's going to be hard for the Blue Demons in terms of leadership, but they welcome in a D2 transfer that you want to know about. From local Lewis University, Max Strus is a guy to watch, folks. This guy's got unlimited range. He can really stretch the floor with his jump shot, can also drive it as well. So the Blue Demons have solid guard play, Tredarius McCullum as well, and that could have them right in the thick of things with a top 15 opponent. For the Blue Demons, a big key to this one is rebounding the basketball because they have to go up against the ACC's leader in double-doubles from a season ago, Bonzie Colson. We talked about Jalen Brunson of Villanova being a preseason All-American. Colson is also one of those. That's a high class, and Colson is a rebounding machine. He averaged over 10 a game last year. So if DePaul is going to be able to get past the Fighting Irish, it's a tall task. That's a top 15 opponent coming in here. But you got to stay on the glass. Colson is a big factor down low. Matt Farrell in the backcourt. Notre Dame has won a combined 7 NCAA tournament games in the past 3 years. They've gotten it done in the big dance, and Mike Brey. This is the first time, though, in the Mike Brey era that Notre Dame will be playing away from home. And there's a near sellout crowd waiting for them here at Wintrust Arena. DePaul starting a brand new era as Dave Leitao looks to get this Blue Demons program now heading in the right trajectory as you just get the fresh vibe in here, folks. To take a step back, walking in here last night, so much fun to see Chicago open this place up with a bang, and a historic weekend for Jeannie Poncetta and the DePaul Blue Demons as they open up a new chapter for DePaul basketball. There's so much rich history between the Blue Demons and the Fighting Irish, and they've gone back and forth. We got a lot of fun with that coming up. We've got DePaul players, Brandon Cyrus, Eli Kane, Max Strus, Coach Dave Leitao as well. We got plenty of things, and we need your questions as well. We're on Big East Facebook and Big East Twitter. What game are you looking forward to the most tonight? Let us know, and you might just make it on our show. But who better to preview tonight and the season with than with a team at the top of the conference? Villanova has won 4 straight Big East regular season titles, and I talked with Jay Wright about that and more this week.
Yeah, John, since the last time I talked to you, we've had some scrimmages. We actually had an exhibition game against Drexel. So it has helped us kind of figure out who we are a little bit. Omari Spellman was injured a little bit in the preseason. Phil Booth was still coming back. We didn't know how effective they would be early, but we've been able to get them in there in scrimmages and games, and I think they've both answered some questions for us. You know, Omari is enabling us to have an inside presence that we had with Daniel Chefu, and Phil Booth is back to his old form, so it gives us another experienced guard. And then, you know, you add Jalen Brunson and Mikhail Bridges. You know, they've kind of been rocks for us. So those guys have looked good early and helped us kind of start to form our identity.
Obviously, every fan base in America is excited right now from a head coaching perspective. What's opening week like?
It is exciting. It really is. There's an anticipation of the opening game, but there's also a really comfortable relief to settle in to the regular season. Preseason is always anxious. You know, you got a lot of work you want to get done. You don't want to get guys hurt. Guys do get hurt, and then it changes your plans of how you wanted to practice. So there's a lot of things in preseason that create anxiety. I think players and coaches are a lot more comfortable when you get into that routine of game, couple practices, game. That's what makes us comfortable. That's what excites us. And college basketball season starting gets everybody fired up.
You've got the Columbia Lions to open things up. What kind of challenges do they present in your opener?
You know, a scary opener in that, you know, one of the things that we're not really pleased with yet is we're not an efficient, fundamentally sound team yet. And when you play a team like Columbia that's very well coached, very disciplined, they execute extremely well. Those teams can get you early in the season because you might not be, you know, you might be conditioned, you might still be developing your personnel, but you're not executing that well. That's what really concerns me about them. They can play zone, which you don't see. We're a man-to-man team. We don't see a lot of that in practice. So, do I need to let you know how concerned I am anymore? I got every worry in the book into this one.
Coach, you know it. The Big East is loaded with familiar names, seniors that return and look to lead their programs even further. When you're preparing in the conference, which players come to mind that really impact the way you game plan for them?
Well, you definitely think of Blewett at Xavier and Delgado at Seton Hall. But, you know, I think what makes the Big East unique is that there's a lot of very good teams that have veteran players. So in college basketball now, we don't seem to really promote veteran players as much as we promote the incoming freshmen. You know, we get so excited about the new players, the new big recruits, but the teams over the length of the season that usually have the most success are the teams that have great veteran players. And I think there's a lot of them in the Big East. I think Providence got a lot of great veteran players. Creighton's got a lot of good veteran players. I think St. John's guys are starting to get older and really are going to have a very good team. But I really look at Xavier, Providence, and Seton Hall as being the teams that are going to be rock solid because of veterans. And then you've got a lot of other teams that Butler and St. John's who have guys who have played before and are on the cusp, I think, of becoming very good. Marquette the same way, DePaul the same way. It's really what makes our league unique is that we always have teams with great veteran players, and we also have the teams with the exciting incoming freshmen.
Coach, the next month and a half or so is ironic in a way because starting at the end of December, you're going to be going up against these Big East coaches, and you're going to battle against them. But the next month and a half, you're rooting for them. When a coach around the league gets a statement win, are you shooting him a text, or are you what are you doing?
Definitely. We always shoot each other texts. We shoot texts to the Big East office. We celebrate those wins. It reminds me of the Big East in the 80s when I was an assistant coach and we were coming up, and making our name, and we took great pride in Northeastern basketball. Now we still have that pride in Northeastern basketball, but we also have that pride in an all basketball conference, and we're kind of out there on an island by ourselves, where we're with the Big Five conferences, but yet we're not one of them. But we play at that level basketball-wise. We're an all basketball conference, so we really take pride in that, and we just we don't profess to be better than anybody. We just profess to be authentic, unique, and if you're a basketball fan, and especially if you're from urban areas that love the game of basketball, this is your conference, because it's all year round. It's 365 days of basketball, and that's what all of our universities are about. That's what our programs are about, and that's what we think's really exciting about the Big East.
A look from above in the Windy City. Beautiful Wintrust Arena opening its doors to DePaul basketball this weekend. Blue Demons and Notre Dame on Saturday afternoon. Great that you're here with us on Big East Shootaround. Thanks to Villanova's Jay Wright for catching up with us. Wildcats on FS2 at 8:30 taking on Columbia. We turn to our fast break. That's right, it's back this week. And we got a bunch of storylines to get to here. Rapid fire. Let's start with Tom Crean. He was on the ESPN panel of big predictions this year. He has the Xavier Musketeers as his national champion. The Musketeers have been picked by a lot of people as a Final Four dark horse. And when you think about it, folks, the seniors that they welcome in, on top of that, a great freshman class, Coach Mack's got a team that is a national title dark horse. Tom Crean, a former Big East coach over at Marquette, picking the Xavier Musketeers to potentially win the title. We turn to St. John's. A legend returned to send the Johnnies off ahead of their home opener tonight. Louis Carnesecca back with the Red Storm. He paid a visit to Chris Mullen's team and sending them off with some wise words. Always good to see a Big East legend talking it up with the Johnnies. Great to see Louis out there. Seton Hall is in action tonight, and they are pumped up, as you see here. The Pirates getting back at it at the Prudential Center, where they have been so dominant. Here's a fun fact for you. In every home game last year, Angel Delgado recorded a double-double. I think that's pretty good. And then the Villanova Wildcats. A fun graphic here. How about the Wildcats, who now head to the Wells Fargo Center? Villanova will play there throughout this season as they are doing renovations, millions and millions of dollars of renovations over at the Pavilion. And now at the Wells Fargo Center tonight, Wildcats and Columbia. That gets underway at 8:30. DePaul and number 14 Notre Dame. Just about 24 hours from now, this place will be rocking. And it was rocking back in Rosemont in 1981. That's where our flashback this week takes us, when the Blue Demons Notre Dame met in a top 10 showdown.
Horizon is transformed into a basketball madhouse. 17,000 fans to see 6th-ranked Notre Dame against 2nd-rated DePaul. And a win for Ray Meyer's DePaul Blue Demons would boost them into the nation's #1 spot. And with that basket, Dukas moved up on the all-time scoring list. Dillard ties it for DePaul at 6. Conclusion of the game, we'll have the announcement of the pairings. Andre alone, and Notre Dame builds a 5-point lead. And Bradshaw up the alley. Score!
Bradshaw is the key play of the game so far. If the ball scores here.
McGuire on Woolridge inside. He scores. He's fouled.
You know why it's a key play? It made a difference between a...
McGuire's got him now. He's got Woolridge. There it is. And McGuire scores. He's unstoppable. He is so strong. Jackson. And can't hit it. Tripucka can. And it's tied at 46. Tripucka with 20 points. McGuire to Bradshaw. 2-on-1. A little tight. Oh, what a tip by Cummings. They said he'll be back.
I think Joe Mile will be receiving Social Security before he gets to
Bradshaw. Bradshaw scores again. McGuire setting up Grubb. And DePaul has his biggest lead, 66-54. Taking home. Here's Bradshaw to Randolph. Enjoy it. You're number one. That aim. Not there. And that's it. The ball game is over. DePaul and Mark Aguirre beat Notre Dame 74-64.
Well, it's great to flash back to 1981. The DePaul Blue Demons looking to make memories just like that one. Their head coach looks to do it, Dave Leitao. Coach, this is such an incredible space. When you think about the process of 2015, the groundbreaking, to now, what comes to mind?
The enormity of putting a project like this together, from the ground floor, the thought process, the engineering, every single detail, and then watch it being constructed was mind-boggling. I couldn't come to understand, all the entities that have to come together to put a project like this together. And now that it's here, it's beautiful, it's breathtaking, and just waiting for the game to start so that we can put to use what everybody's mind has done, over the last couple of years.
What's your favorite part about the new house?
The location. I like its proximity. It's not far from Lincoln Park. It's in a great area of Chicago in the South Loop. It's close. My selfish point of view is that it's near players, and so we can have access to, and players can have access to us, which is sorely needed. And I think with all the amenities, obviously in a tremendous building like this, I think the selfish part for me is that we're close.
Last night we talked, and you said you think that this group is better than what you've had in the past at DePaul. Why?
For a number of reasons. We're deeper. We more skilled. We shoot the ball a lot better. We make more plays. We're bigger, and I think our overall attitude of cohesiveness and understanding that everybody wants to be, may not always be right now, but wants to be on the same page is in line with what the coaches and I try to preach every day.
You welcome in a D2 transfer that has a lot of people talking in Max Strus. People are going to get to see him for the first time tomorrow in action. What does he bring to the table?
A tremendous attitude. I think it starts with the humility of playing Division II basketball and having nothing given to you. And so he's an extremely hard worker with his humility. He's talented in a lot of areas. He can really shoot the basketball. He plays with a tremendous amount of veracity. He's very athletic to go along with his skill package. And so, we really like what he brings to the table in a lot of different areas.
A top 15 team coming in for your opener, certainly a steep test. What is the number one thing that you have to do tomorrow to be in it with Notre Dame and get the result you want?
I think what makes them so good over the course of a long time is Mike Bray has done a tremendous job in instilling confidence. They play with a tremendous amount of confidence. They don't beat themselves. They get shots at the basket almost every possession, and they protect the basket really well. And so, especially early on in the year, when you're trying to figure things out, you can tend to turn the ball over or make some mistakes that you'd like to have back. And they play against your exuberance, and so that's a concern of ours. And so, playing against a program, not just a team, is something that really concerns me.
How do you stop Bonzie Colson?
Don't stop him with one man, and as the saying goes, you just hope to contain him. I think he's a very intelligent and rhythm-driven basketball player. He's beyond his years. He commands, a lot of eyes on him, and if you put too many eyes on him, he makes people better. He rebounds the basketball very, very well, and to be a senior, to be a first-team All-American, and have the career that he's had thus far is no easy task in trying to stop him.
A lot of Big East fans watching out there, getting ready for their respective teams to tip off tonight. You coaches meet in the spring and share what is your vision. What is this conference's vision?
To continue to compete at the highest level. I think not just, it's been said, and Villanova's been at the top. They've won a national championship a couple of years ago, and they ran our league for a long period of time, as some other teams have done in the Big East in times gone by. But it's a very, very deep league with some tremendous coaches. It's got a lot of experience, so the teams that are good are there because they've got juniors and seniors and guys that have been around the block. And so, that's what the essence of college basketball has always been about. The days that we have in front of us right now, one and done, are sexy. And I think a lot of people would like to enjoy some of that, but at the same point in time, experience always wins out, and that's what this league has continued to be about, and I think that's what a large part of success is.
The night before the opener, it's got to bring out the jitters in you a little bit, right? The excitement. I mean, that's a good thing, right?
You know, I think as a competitor, you ask any player, you know, what goes through your mind. There's always a lot of butterflies, and I think, you know, from my standpoint, there's excitement as well as nervousness because it's the start of a new year. You know, there's a little added extra bonus with a new building and playing against such a great opponent, but at the same point in time, I always get excited this time of year. It's what drives any coach is to see what his team looks like. Everybody in America is filled with optimism, and now your optimism has to turn into reality.
You have a favorite Chicago song from last night? I like Saturday in the Park.
You know what? I did get up and sing to that, so I do agree with you on that one.
I like that, Coach. Well, we're looking forward to Saturday at Wintrust tomorrow. Thanks so much, and good luck tomorrow. Coach Dave Leitao and his Blue Demons taking on number 14 Notre Dame tomorrow afternoon. We'll take a quick timeout on Shootaround. It's time for Big East Hoops. A season after the Big East sent 7 teams to the NCAA tournament, the conference is stronger than ever, and it's looking to make even more noise. Leading the way in the Big East are 3 ranked teams. The preseason favorite, number 6 Villanova, number 17 Xavier, who went to the Elite 8 a year ago, as well as number 23, the Seton Hall Pirates. 2 head coaches return to their respective homes, as LaValle Jordan is back at Butler, and number 33 returns to the Hilltop, as Patrick Ewing looks to lead the Georgetown Hoyas to the same prominence that he powered them to in the 80s. Oh, and he'll go up against this guy, too. One Big East program has a new home, as the DePaul Blue Demons will play in downtown Chicago once again, at the newly built Wintrust Arena. The conference is loaded with storylines, with teams trying to make that next step, such as St. John's, or one of the best wing duels that you'll find in Kyrie Thomas and Marcus Foster out at Creighton. The nation's leading rebounder resides in the Big East, as this time, the Pirates' Angel Delgado looks to take Seton Hall in an NCAA tournament run. The top of the conference still belongs to the Villanova Wildcats, though, as the 2016 national champions have won 4 straight Big East regular season crowns. The chase is on for them. Let the games begin. We know one thing, memories will be made, all the way up to the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden.
I am the greatest.
Well, it's snowing outside, but it's getting hot here at Wintrust Arena because the Blue Demons start their new era tomorrow. And we are here with Eli Kane, Brandon Cyrus of DePaul. Brandon, when you walked into this building for the first time, what was your reaction?
To be honest, I was speechless. You know, it's an amazing arena. Everything's brand new. Everything's shiny. You know, our locker room's amazing. The weight room, it really just blew me away. Eli,
I look at this DePaul team. Was at practice a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You guys have a different vibe to you.
Yeah.
What is different about this team?
I would say number one, the team chemistry. Obviously, we have a lot more skill, a lot more size, a lot more versatility. But I would say the team chemistry, the brotherhood that we have, is definitely the thing that separates from the past years here.
And for you guys tomorrow, it's no easy test here right off the bat against Notre Dame. What's gone into the scout this week to be ready for them?
History. You know, when you're playing against Notre Dame, it's not just a team. You're playing against history. A team that knows how to win. A lot of older guys, guys that's used to winning. So it's just really sticking to our game plan and executing as much as possible.
You guys have a lot of great guard play. You can beat a defense in a lot of ways from the perimeter. And there's a guy behind me that's shooting the lights out, Max Strus. How versatile is this backcourt as a whole?
You know, it's very versatile. You know, we have Eli who can slash, and then Max can shoot the hell of the ball. So when Max spaces the floor, it draws defenses closer to him, which opens up driving lanes. And then in transition, we're able to shoot the ball in transition more and just get out and run more and play faster.
You know what the Big East grind is like, and you got to get it done in non-conference play before that. But being a veteran in this conference now, how much does experience matter when you're going up against the Big East teams?
I think it plays a huge part in winning. Knowing that every night is never an easy night. You're always going to play guys that are used to winning, guys that are potentially pros. I think in the Big East preseason we have 4 or 5 teams that's ranked, probably even 6 or 7 out of the top 50. So every night is a battle. It's a grind. So having the experience and having a few years under my belt definitely helps me a lot.
All right, when you guys go up against each other in one-on-one, who wins?
Me.
I do.
Me. Like I said,
you did.
Yeah.
You were quick on that one.
Yeah.
I've won the last 3 battles. Just want to put that out there.
Oh, you've gone with 3 in a row. Is that true? He's on a 3-game winning streak?
That's not true at all. That's an obvious lie. That's not true at all.
They're about to practice, or else I get him on the court. But to settle this, I have to find my phone because we have. Oh, my phone's being used for pictures. We'll bring it out here. Our assistant producer will bring it out, Alejandro. To settle this debate, since you guys can't seem to agree, we will have a little trivia, Chicago style.
All right.
I'm going to have to watch here. The producers in the back are watching you. No cheating, and you got to raise your hand here. First one to get it off. I will get the questions here going. We have all Chicago-related trivia, folks. I think this is going to be very fun. How well do you know Chicago?
We're about to find out.
Like the back of my hand.
Like the back of his hand. Here we go. I'm watching. What famous amusement park ride, which can be seen on the Navy Pier, was invented in Chicago in 1893?
What?
The Ferris wheel.
He didn't even raise his hand. He knew the answer right away.
Hold on. That doesn't count. He didn't raise his hand.
The Ferris wheel.
The Ferris wheel. He's off to a 1-0 start.
1-0. All right. Come on.
Are you ready to bounce back?
I got it.
I need you to get your game face on.
Yeah, I had no idea what that was.
All right, here we go. This famous fast food chain had its first franchise restaurant open in Chicago in 1955. Brandon?
Portillo's.
That's incorrect. This famous fast food chain.
Oh.
It's a fast food chain. I'll give you a hint.
Yeah, give me a hint.
Golden Arches.
McDonald's. Hey, look. McDonald's.
1-1.
Yeah, there it is.
1-1. You guessed Portillo's. You could have waited for the hint here. Here we go. What famous talk show host called Chicago her studio home for years?
Oh, Oprah.
Oprah Winfrey.
I said it first, bro.
This hand got in here first. I have to grant
Oprah.
hand access before you can get an answer.
Thank you.
Right, but he got his hand up first.
Wow. All right, 2-1.
All right, here we go. 2-1. Third question here. Rather, fourth question. What famous Chicago rapper is also known by the name Keith Cozart?
Hey, Chief Keef.
Chief Keef. Eli is Chief again here. 2 even.
2-2.
2-2. Fifth question here. We're throwing it back in time right now.
Oh, man.
This dynamic music duo, played by John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, starred in a 1980 movie based out of Chicago.
Next.
Okay, all right. They're in suits. People have been in for Halloween, I'm sure.
Oh.
They're known in town.
The 2 guys.
The 2 guys in suits.
Obviously, he just said
The
Blues Brothers.
The Blues Brothers.
Is that right?
That's correct.
All right, 3-2.
How'd you do that one?
I feel like
I went back into the far reaches of my mind.
He had to dig back there, and he found it.
3-2.
He went through his file folder. Here we go. Time for you to even things up again. This former U.S. president was an Illinois senator and had great involvement in Chicago before being elected. You have to raise your hand.
Obama.
I was about to say that.
Well,
Hold on, but is it right? Because I was about to say
It's
that
Barack
too.
Obama. You need to start having confidence in yourself.
Yeah. I was a little shaky on
I'm
that
not
one.
taking away points if you just throw an answer out there.
All right.
Who's next, man?
4-2. This famous former Chicago baseball player was nicknamed the Big Hurt.
Wait.
We don't play baseball.
Hold on.
This famous Chicago baseball player was nicknamed the Big Hurt. If you watch the World Series, he was in studio. He played for the White Sox. He was a slugger.
Yeah,
You don't know baseball,
A DH. Big hitter, the Big Hurt.
Give me another hint.
Oh, man. His last name's Thomas.
That
Frank Thomas.
I was going
the Big Hurt. All right, we'll move on. Now I'm getting into a little bit of, you said you're a history guy, right?
Definitely a history guy.
The Willis Tower, the second tallest skyscraper in the world, was formerly known as what in Chicago?
The Sears Tower.
That is correct.
Bro, who are you? Like, what?
I watch the History Channel nightly.
What do you like to watch on the History Channel?
Everything.
Tell me what the programming is. Tell me one of the shows you watch.
No, it's no way he knows
There's
his
one
answer.
show I actually watch. I forget what it's called right now.
What do you like to watch?
I watch Animal
SpongeBob.
Attacks.
Animal Attacks is not helping you in this trivia
at all.
contest right now.
Obviously, not at all.
You've come to the wrong show.
Absolutely.
But Animal Planet, is that what Animal Attacks is on?
Yeah.
I kind of like that, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of a fun.
National Geographic channel.
National Geographic,
Yeah,
nice.
it's my thing.
I'm more of a diners, drive-ins, and dives guy.
I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan.
Guy Fieri?
Yeah, that's it.
Triple D? All right, here we go. This is a good one here. Good
All right.
one. I think Animals Attack kind of gives me the idea you might get this one.
All right.
The first two movies in this Christopher Nolan superhero trilogy were shot in Chicago. Brandon.
Batman.
Hold
on.
There's a name for the movie. Okay.
Dark Knight.
That is correct. I'm going to give him the Dark Knight on that one.
Appreciate
He's
it.
back. So it's 4-3 again. It's
Appreciate
4-3. Here we go. A tiebreaker question. Oh, it's 4-3, but this was made as a tiebreaker, but I'm giving you an extra chance. This true blue Chicago native played at DePaul from 1998 to 2000 before getting drafted by the Clippers as the 18th pick.
Hold on. I know.
His hand went up. What is it?
Wrong.
Who is it?
I got two in my mind.
Oh, boy.
I know it.
Is it Quentin Richardson?
Bro, no, he can't do that, bro.
For the win!
No,
he just did do it!
Bro. He's cheating.
Good game.
Brandon Cyrus has now won 4 games in a row over Eli Kane. 3 in basketball and 1 in trivia.
He doesn't know it. He's my roommate. There's no way he knows. I know he's not this smart, bro.
Well, I think you guys need to have some more roommate talks because something's up here. You got to watch an Animals Attack episode and you need to watch some History Channel with him.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So tomorrow you beat Notre Dame and then go back and watch some History Channel and Animal Planet. Is that okay?
100%. 100%.
That's fine.
Brandon Cyrus, Eli Kane, they're going to provide a lot of excitement in Big East hoops this year, and so will the rest of the conference. Get hyped.
I am the greatest.
Shootaround. Oh, boy.
He didn't get to warm up. But she looks at the camera and says, "It's my turn."
I don't know. It looks like it's shining bright to me.
What do you guys think? What are my chances here?
I think you're gonna win.
You think I'm gonna win? Who are we kidding?
2017, 2018, stay tuned.
You're in my shot. Oh, because it's my show now.
Oh, okay. We've talked about Max Strus in this show, and now he's with me on set, the Division II transfer now for the DePaul Blue Demons, looking to help their climb as they open up a new era tomorrow. Max, first question I have is it's No Shave November, so what's going into this here?
I started probably a month ago, but all the coaches like it, so I'm just going to keep it. All my friends like it, so I'm just keeping it for as long as I can.
First time with the heavy facial hair?
Yeah, first time with a beard, so I kind of like it. It's not bad.
Maybe start a winning streak here and just keep it rolling. It'll be
hopefully
all the way down here.
That would be nice.
The haircut as well is something. I mean, a lot goes into that.
I had to clean up for tomorrow.
So you model after anybody?
No. Just simple.
Well, we want to get to know you a little bit. Your favorite movie?
Hot Rod. You ever seen it?
I've never seen Hot Rod.
Yeah, it's like a stupid,
Andy Samberg.
Stupid, funny Andy Samberg. Yep.
I'm on a boat. I like the Saturday Night Live days.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's very funny.
Yep.
Your favorite singer? Or musician, rock band, artist?
I don't know. I'm on a bit of a Macklemore kick right now. I don't know. It changes.
Thrift Shop?
Yeah. It's all right. Yeah, his new stuff's good though. Glorious. You ever heard his new song Glorious?
I haven't heard that one, but it sounds interesting.
It's a good one.
He sings that one with the thrift shop, right?
Yeah. That's him.
When you go in the thrift shop, what are you trying to get? If you ever...
I've only been there one time. Maybe a little Hawaiian shirt, something like that, you know?
It's good for like a Halloween costume or something off the cuff.
Definitely.
I like that.
Yeah.
Who is a player you try to mimic your game after?
You know what? There's not really one person. I just kind of be the best I can at everything. I like watching a lot of Kobe.
Mamba.
Gordon Hayward's good. Chandler Parsons. Kevin Durant. So, you know, just everybody. I just like watching everything and just learn from everybody.
Let's turn to this matchup tomorrow. A top 15 opponent coming in, and you're opening up a new arena.
Yeah.
What's the vibe of this team right now?
There's a lot of energy around this team. A lot of energy around our school, the campus. Everybody's excited for this game. I'm pretty sure it's almost sold out from what I've heard. So, yeah, a lot of energy. Everybody's looking forward to it, and hopefully we can come out with a W.
You guys have been preparing for Notre Dame all week long without giving away too much of the game plan. What do you need to do against them tomorrow?
They got some studs. You know, Bonzie Colson's he's a heck of a player. We obviously got to focus on him. And their point guard, Matt Farrell, we got to contain him and just take them out of the game and just try to do as best we can to stopping Bonzie Colson and taking them out of the game.
How much Big East basketball had you watched before you got to DePaul?
Oh, I watch college basketball all the time. I'm not a big fan of watching NBA basketball. I watch a lot of college, so I mean, I've watched a bunch of teams, a bunch of games, so I'm pretty familiar with it.
When you think about Madison Square Garden being the end of the road in the Big East journey, what comes to mind?
Yeah, I mean, we were there for that.
Yeah.
What was that? The preseason stuff.
Media Day, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a cool experience to be there. I'm looking forward to playing in that gym. You know, it's a historic place, and hopefully we get there and, you know, put on the show.
Best 2K player on the team?
Oh, I don't play video games, so not me.
You read a book?
No, you know what?
What's your hobby?
I don't have one. I watch a lot of TV. But I kind of just sit on the couch and just mosey around. I'm a lazy guy.
So do I. Something went wrong there, though.
2K, though, yeah. I mean, everybody thinks they're good, so I'm
Everyone
not really
thinks
sure.
they're good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, who's the guy who has the most swagger on this team?
Swagger?
You sometimes got to be like, all right.
Probably Marin, our big guy. Marin, yeah. You got to tell him to calm down a little bit. So
Marin Morris,
yeah,
the big man inside.
Yep.
Need him tomorrow against Bonzie Colson.
Definitely do. Definitely need him. Yep.
Max Strus, unlimited range. Get ready for him hitting threes deep inside the Wintrust Arena tomorrow against the Fighting Irish. You're going to see this guy on FS1. Thanks so much, Max.
All
Good
right.
luck this season.
Sounds good. Thank you.
We will be back with more Shootaround here. We got more stuff coming for you. Stay tuned. Another long journey to the big dance is about to begin. It's time for Big East Hoops. A season after the Big East sent 7 teams to the NCAA tournament, the conference is stronger than ever, and it's looking to make even more noise. Leading the way in the Big East are 3 ranked teams. The preseason favorite, number 6 Villanova, number 17 Xavier, who went to the Elite 8 a year ago, as well as number 23, the Seton Hall Pirates. 2 head coaches return to their respective homes, as Laval Jordan is back at Butler, and number 33 returns to the Hilltop, as Patrick Ewing looks to lead the Georgetown Hoyas to the same prominence that he powered them to in the 80s. Oh, and he'll go up against this guy, too. One Big East program has a new home, as the DePaul Blue Demons will play in downtown Chicago once again, at the newly built Wintrust Arena. The conference is loaded with storylines, with teams trying to make that next step, such as St. John's, or one of the best wing duels that you'll find in Kyrie Thomas and Marcus Foster out at Creighton. The nation's leading rebounder resides in the Big East, as this time, the Pirates' Angel Delgado looks to take Seton Hall in an NCAA tournament run. The top of the conference still belongs to the Villanova Wildcats, though, as the 2016 national champions have won 4 straight Big East regular season crowns. The chase is on for them. Let the games begin. We know one thing. Memories will be made. All the way up to the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. The first week of college basketball season brings so much hype in the air, and the Big East and Big Ten combine with those efforts for an opening week event unlike any other. It's the 3rd annual Dave Gavitt tip-off games, and they tip off on Monday on FS1. Providence welcomes in nationally ranked Minnesota into Friartown. As you take a look at the matchups across the Gavitt tip-off games, some of the other highlights, Creighton will visit Northwestern. Those two teams going dancing last year. And then Marquette taking on Purdue Tuesday night. Wednesday and Thursday bring some big-time matchups. Seton Hall hosts Indiana. That's all blue versus all red. And Angel Delgado looking to keep the Pirates rolling. Meanwhile, Xavier traveling to Wisconsin, folks. That is a rematch of an NCAA tournament showdown back in 2016. The Musketeers getting knocked out by Wisconsin, and now Xavier, they're looking for revenge and have been searching for it for quite some time, as that will be one that's very exciting. This DePaul Blue Demons team takes on Illinois in a battle for state supremacy to close out the Gavitt games a week from tonight. We will take a quick timeout, and when we return, FS1's Brian Anderson. He's calling the action tomorrow between Notre Dame and DePaul. He joins me live on set with a preview of that and much more as Big East Shootaround rolls along. Let's do it, Big East Shootaround. Oh, boy.
He didn't get to warm up. But she looks at the camera and says, it's my turn.
I don't know. It looks like it's shining bright to me.
What do you guys think? What are my chances here?
I think you're going to win.
You think I'm going to win? Who are we kidding?
2017, 2018 state team.
You're in my shot. Oh, because it's my show now.
Oh, okay. Well, tomorrow on FS1, you can see Brian Anderson and Bill Raftery calling DePaul Notre Dame from Chicago, 4 Eastern, 3 Central time. Brian, what's it like working with Bill Raftery? I mean, he just brings so much excitement.
Yeah, no, it's he's the governor, man. It's a thrill to work with Raf, and I've done a number of games with him. We did the Big Ten tournament last year as well, and he's I can't imagine a better guy to be sitting next to for the college basketball opener for us anyway. For me to be sitting next to him, he's such a wealth of knowledge, and he's a lot of fun. He brings so much energy, as you said, and that's that's real. As you know him, and he's not fake in any way. He's an authentic person and coach and former coach and broadcaster, and so happy for his success in doing the Final Four with us with March Madness, Turner, and CBS, and I'm so happy he got that chance, and I can't wait to see him again here in a moment, hopefully, and we'll get it started.
Meeting number 105 between DePaul and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The Blue Demons looking to get back to where they were throughout the 80s, and they've had successful teams in the past. This arena should help that.
Yeah, I think that's, if you're looking for one way to jumpstart a program, this would be it. I've just walked in here. I've literally been here 5 minutes when you grabbed me out of the stands, and so I haven't even had a chance to really soak it in, but I can tell you, this is a special place, and if you're trying to energize a fan base, try to get something going, the fastest way to do that is to open up a new venue, and so hopefully they can do that. I would love to see DePaul get back to what they were when I was a young boy and watching college basketball, and I was just a little kid in the late 70s when they were great, and I can vividly remember DePaul basketball and Mark Aguirre, and so I'm excited to see what they can do here. I like some of their players, prepping for this game tomorrow. He's starting to learn a lot. I was glad to see Austin Grandstaff back. I haven't seen him in a couple of years since I last saw him with Ohio State. I wasn't sure where he went. I knew he went down to Oklahoma, and a pleasant surprise that I was able to find him on the DePaul roster. He gives him a little bit of an X factor. Obviously, Kane is going to be their leader. I love Strus. I'm very curious to see what he's going to be like. I've talked to a lot of coaches who recruited him out of college at Lewis before he went to Lewis, and he's grown a little bit. He's grown a few inches to now put him in that 6'6", 6'7" range.
He's like a phenomenon with the talk from coaches.
Yes,
they found a gem.
And I think that is, I see it a lot in the baseball world because players can emerge, and never underestimate the heart of a player who, especially if he gets the physical attributes, if he does grow, then who knows what he can be. And he's obviously been the underdog. He's got a great pedigree here. His mother, of course, is in the Hall of Fame here at DePaul. So he's the guy. He and Austin are the two guys I'm really interested to see what they can be here for DePaul. And, they got a big man, too, in March. And anytime you got that kind of size, you're okay.
March has a busy day at the office tomorrow. He's taking on the leader in ACC double-doubles, over 10 rebounds a game in Bonzie Colson.
I've been watching Bonzie since his freshman year and really his sophomore year. I remember Mike Bray telling us in the NCAA tournament, I did Notre Dame and Kentucky in that Elite Eight game, and And Bonzi was kind of like that wild card guy. He was a sophomore at the time, and coach's son. They were still calling him Little Bonds at the time. His father, of course, a longtime assistant at BC and played at Rhode Island. So he's very fundamental. There's no shine in his game. It's just very efficient and very productive. Yeah. And I've enjoyed watching him grow over the last few years and turn into the star that I think he'll be this year. And I think, the preseason ACC Player of the Year is not too lofty for him. My only question with Bonzi, right, you probably asked this of Mike himself, but my question is, he's been the underdog his entire career. He's been the guy to come in, the gym rat, the coach's son, kind of had to work for everything he's got. Now he's got a lot of expectations on him, and I'm very curious to see how he handles that.
That's the ACC Preseason Player of the Year right here. DePaul will look to contain him on Saturday. FS1, 4 Eastern, 3 Central with this guy right here, Brian Anderson and Bill Raftery. Thanks, Brian.
All right, John. Great to be with you, bud.
Here's what you can look forward to in the Big East Hoops here.
I am the greatest.
We're back here at beautiful Wintrust Arena with the DePaul Director of Athletics, Jeannie Poncetta. And Jeannie, this groundbreaking of this space has been years in the making. It took place in 2015. Now to have tomorrow with Notre Dame coming in. First off, when you think about this project, I'm amazed by this arena. What comes to mind for you?
I'm just really proud. I'm proud that DePaul University and our president, Father Dennis Holt-Schneider, and now Dr. Gabe Esteban, who's our new president, just terrific visionaries and recognizing how important athletics and men's basketball and women's basketball are to the institution in terms of the branding and how important it is to have a facility like this. And so we're thrilled to be able to partner with the city of Chicago and create this great atmosphere for not only our student athletes and our coaches, but our alumni and our students and fans. And so it's been a big project. Our construction crew came through for us 22 months from start to finish, and you can see the finished product is absolutely spectacular, and I couldn't be more proud. It's going to be awesome for recruiting, and like I said, in terms of building affinity and pride amongst our university community and throughout the city of Chicago, I don't think we could have asked for a better home.
And this has been a project years in the making. You were telling me last night there have been so many people that have contributed to this.
Oh, there's no two ways about it, John. I mean, like I said, starting with our university leadership, our board of trustees, Bob Janis and Jeff Bethke, two guys that I work on campus with. Bob oversees all of our construction projects as a vice president for physical plant and ops, and Jeff Bethke's our executive vice president and oversees all the finances. And so without those two guys, this would have never happened. And then certainly the relationship and the partnership with Mayor Emanuel, Jim Riley and Lori Healy here at MPEA, the Metropolitan Pier and Exposition Authority. It's really been a terrific partnership. DePaul has always been additive to the city of Chicago when it comes to public-private partnerships, and anywhere we've laid roots in whatever neighborhood we've kind of decided that we wanted to be a part of has really made that neighborhood better. And so I think this is going to be another one of those additions. Beautiful campus here at McCormick Place, and now to add to the convention center with a 10,000-seat facility, I think is going to be one of those another great moments in DePaul's history.
And the contract was announced just a month ago. DePaul will host the Big East Women's Basketball Tournament right here at Wintrust Arena. How excited are you for that?
Very much so. I think we were looking for a permanent home for women's basketball. I'm not sure how permanent it will be, but at least it'll be for the next 3 years, and I think this is the right-sized building for women's basketball. Clearly we have terrific attendance at DePaul for women's basketball, so we're looking forward to create a little bit of magic for all of our teams in the Big East Conference when it comes to women's basketball championship weekend. So you can see when you look around you, there's no better facility I think in the Big East Conference than what you see here at Wintrust Arena to host that event.
When you meet in the spring with your fellow ADs, what do you want Big East fans, the followers of this conference, to see out of the student athletes throughout this league?
I think what they see already throughout this league is that one of the things that's, I think, really awesome about the Big East Conference is the commitment to service by each of our institutions and how that manifests itself in our student athletes. I think we have a program in the Big East where we talk about Big East Serves, and it's so many. In fact, probably all of our institutions, service is extracurricular and co-curricular, and so I think that really gives us a great distinction among our peers in Division I, and I think it's one of the things that the Big East Conference can probably carry the banner of. I think the other is the academic excellence of our student athletes, our high graduation rates across the board in every sport. So I think when our fans look at us across the Big East, I think they can be really proud that this is a conference that does it the right way. And so very exciting.
There's the first horn
right.
of the weekend, right?
Right.
That tells you basketball's back, right?
It's here. It's time. It's showtime.
All the players and coaches have jitters when you think about this beautiful space. Notre Dame coming in tomorrow. When you go to bed tonight, there's got to be jitters from your perspective too.
Well, I'm thrilled we're doing it with an old friend. While we would have loved to open up with a conference foe, the timing of the year when we were going to open the building really lent itself to picking another old rival. And so we have a lot of great friends at Notre Dame, and Mike Bray couldn't have been any more gracious. And so, it'll be fun to open with them and to renew that rivalry, both when we were in the old Big East and our days when we were independent. So, I'm anxious and excited for our student athletes. So many of our fans will be in the building for the first time tomorrow. So, it's probably more jitters about logistics and making sure that everybody gets in and, we get everything rolling on time. But I'm really proud of the building. So, from the perspective of, I don't have any angst about whether or not people are going to fall in love with it. I think they're going to really enjoy being at Wintrust Arena.
Only thing left for me to do is to grab a popcorn here tomorrow before the game.
I'm all about it. I'd be happy to serve you the first bucket.
Jeannie Poncetta, the DePaul Director of Athletics, ready to open up a brand new era for the Blue Demons tomorrow with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish coming in. Jeannie, thanks so much.
Thanks, John.
We'll be back with more Shootaround. Let's do it, Big East Shootaround. Oh, boy.
Jeannie gets a warm-up. When she looks at the camera and says, it's my turn.
I don't know. It looks like it's shining bright to me.
What do you guys think? What are my chances here?
I think we're going to win.
You think I'm going to win? Who are we kidding?
2017, 2018, stay tuned.
You're in my shot. Oh, because it's my show now.
Okay. Back here with you in Chicago from Wintrust Arena. Notre Dame and DePaul's tomorrow at 4 Eastern Time, 3 Central on FS1. But there are 8 games to set the table for you Big East Hoops fans tonight, and you can track them across the Fox family of networks. One more look at those games. An FS2 doubleheader highlights it with Seton Hall and Villanova. The Pirates at 6:30 taking on FDU. Villanova at 8:30 taking on Columbia. There's 4 games starting at 7 o'clock. 2 at 9 o'clock. Watch out for that Creighton-Yale matchup. I'm telling you, that could be the top game of the night across the Big East as Yale returns a team that is loaded. The Blue Jays, though, looking to hold serve at home. I've got a Rob Anderson stat from you. Shout out to Rob in Omaha. DePaul hasn't lost a Friday home game since 1975. And as they say in Omaha, streaks, they say those are meant to be broken, those aren't meant to be broken. Stakes are meant to be broken in Omaha, and they'll look to break more of those tonight. We're here with you in Chicago. We had deep dish for lunch. We're going to grab some dinner, and then tomorrow, the Fighting Irish, the Blue Demons, right here at 4 Eastern Time on FS1. Brian Anderson, the Governor, Bill Raftery. It does not get much better inside a state-of-the-art arena, a new era for the Blue Demons, and we're proud to be a part of it here on Big East Shootaround as you take a look at this arena, folks. I was floored when I walked in here at how amazing it was, and it is just going to be an incredible day tomorrow for DePaul Athletics. Glad that you've been with us all day. Our executive producer, Rick Gentile, producers Brad Zach and Ujosh Patel. This is our first show on the road. John Paquette as well, thanks to him for helping us. And everybody at DePaul, we are signing off from now. Big East Hoops revs up. I got to go find a place to watch all 8 of these games. Hope you are too, Big East Hoops fans. And the Blue Demons and the Fighting Irish tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Don't miss that one. For all of us on Big East Shootaround, I'm John Fanta. Enjoy your games tonight. So long from Chicago.